welcome to the Smackdown preview. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by Dolly Boys, Michael Hamflett from WhatCulture to look ahead to tonight's episode of Friday Night Smackdown. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review SmackDown, but also Raw, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. We Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete. A quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett to look ahead to tonight's episode of Friday Night Smackdown. A show which merits that sort of introduction after last week. And
call me Wade Barrett Stable because I'm the core right now. Feel it burning.
Of course, WWE Tonight returns to the Garden.
Oh my God. And
16,646 tickets distributed at time of recording, set up for 17,660. So about 1,000 left, but they are selling like hotcakes, as they say. And WWE are doing, what are they calling it, like a limited stage? Basically, we're trying to cram as many people in, and it's going to look like the Royal Rumble from 2008?
2008, 2000, WrestleMania 10, Survivor Series 1996. Basically every best day of my life. Every single one of them.
Oh my God, John Cena's back. Wait a second, I hate him.
Yeah. Vince McMahon Sr. said, Vinny, the Garden will always be the Garden. Nobody knew what the he was talking about, but we get excited nonetheless. It's WWE brackets H for football fans, isn't it? This like WWE at home, no place like it. Having said that firsthand, having visited on the tour with a very enthusiastic guy telling us all about Bruno Sammartino matches he watched as a kid, and then going to watch some imposters from New Japan and Ring of Honor think they could desecrate holy ground with their pro wrestling. Actually, the New Japan stuff was goated with the Ring of Honor. That was a complete embarrassment.
Was that the Enzo Big Cass run?
Yeah, it was really funny. It was really funny. Less funny was Brett getting decked across the other side of New York.
Yeah,
and it being like the Hat Night New York City.
That was meant to be, I think it was me, Jules, and Cleary. That was meant to be our night off. Because, you know, you guys are off to do that and what have you. And we're like, this is lovely, and it work trip at a night off. Bret Hart's been attacked, so we kind of need to report on that. And then the Enzo Big Cass stuff happened. But then we thought probably best to leave it to the people who've just watched it happen.
It's a city that never sleeps, so you don't get to either. And nor will anybody here or in the surrounding area, because they'll be awake all night with how loud the Garden is. I love it around that area of New York as well. It's like Penn Station. Stayed in a hotel nearby there as well. Like you can see on a like by about sort of like 9-10 o'clock when it goes dark, you can just see like the long Manhattan streets become a corridor where there's like a blue light at the end where Times Square is. I'm just going to keep following that.
I want to be a part of it.
I wish I was there.
Can we have our faces on a kick line from Brian, do you reckon, this week?
Oh, the WrestleMania 1 Liberace one.
Yes.
Maybe in Madison Square Garden. Or, Brian, if you want, any kind of exterior shot of Madison Square Garden where it's like, tonight live, but us.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
And just fool people with your brilliant Photoshop skills into thinking that we've worked Madison Square Garden and sold the place out.
Like when we had the sign, I can't remember what arena we were at with WCPW, and it said, tonight, Rey Mysterio versus Rick Ahet. And I was like, I can't wait to see that match. What's that going to look like?
Didn't know that.
But a huge show to follow up on from last week. One of the best shows of the year, we said.
Oh, it was unbelievable, yeah. This is it. They're going from what countless wrestlers and fans, those of us lucky enough to attend it, have called the hottest WWE building there is, the All-State Arena in Chicago, to what, the second? WWE's home base, the Mecca, all of that, Madison Square. This is an amazing back-to-back booking to have these two venues in consecutive weeks. And they've set themselves a challenge, because can a Madison Square Garden SmackDown be as hot as one from last week?
I doubt we'll see Punk and Drew on this one, obviously, so tough act to follow.
That's it, yeah. Punk obviously selling the injuries. Drew just back on Raw, I guess. He turned up because he'd quit, so that was how he was able to be. Well, he wasn't in the building, was he? He was outside it, waiting for him. So they haven't got that to lean on this week. It's got to lean on SmackDown. It's a stacked show, at least. There's loads on it. The crowd are going to be hot. The last time they were at, maybe not the exact last time, but if you recall, one of the big Madison Square Garden Smackdowns of recent times was that monster drawing Bloodline segment. It was in 2023.
Oh my God.
I believe. Got ungodly quarter hours and viewerships and all that sort of stuff. And obviously it was one of them. It was in the era of Roman Reigns returns, became a standard graphic they would send out every 6 or 7 weeks, but this one was a huge one and it was in MSG. I just expect this to be, well, it's just like Fed Hot American Summer continues, doesn't it? And you want to go to buildings where that's expressed the best, and there aren't many better than this one.
Huge things to look forward to off the back of last week is, of course, Jacob Fatu. What happens next with him? Obviously, slightly tinged with the awful news of the passing of Sika Anoa'i earlier on this week.
Or is it? Because that could be the cause for, like, great tribute paid.
There's going to be a 10 bell thing at the start, 10
in a building where the Wild Samoans were, like, sort of so well known, and in a territory back when it was similar to a territory where the Wild Samoans were such a big act, where the Samoan, like, so much of the Samoan wrestling family's dynasty is rooted in Madison Square Garden. They have a real opportunity here. Like, there is going to be a 10 bell salute that's going to be held, like, with very respectfully, and it's all, I don't expect any kind of, oh, they're such heels, something as, none of that. But we kind of steer away from the fact that it was Sika on camera who anointed Roman Reigns the tribal chief in front of our very eyes at Clash of Champions 2020.
That sounds about right, yeah.
And he'd really brutalised Jey Uso. It was either Clash or Hell in a Cell, wasn't it? Where, like, one of the times when he just destroyed him, it gets to the top of the ramp and it was like, yep, that's what we wanted you to do. You had to prove it to us.
The lay on him.
Yeah, put the lay on him and that was that. So the roots of all of this sit with the Wild Samoans and Sika. So it makes you wonder if once tribute has been paid, and then whether or not it's next to it or whether or not it's at the other end of the show, the idea that they're obviously welcoming this complete monster into their family in Jacob Fatu, Solo hasn't got his lay or hasn't got that acknowledgement, hasn't been anointed in the same way, hasn't been, and he's taking respect and he's just claiming it rather than actually earning it or being given it by the sort of descendants of the family. Like, I wouldn't mind them using that, you know? I wouldn't mind them sort of mentioning, oh, it's Solo's said he's the head of the table. I mean, he's said he's the head of the table. Didn't realise you just got to announce that for yourself. I thought you had to be given that. I thought that had to be handed down. Maybe Paul Heyman's the one to say it. Like, you know, we all paid tribute, obviously, to your uncle earlier on, and the family have all gathered around, and it was strange because obviously when the family did all gather around, I couldn't help noticing that there wasn't a seat for you at the head of the table. What are you trying to say, Paul? You know, you could play with it, couldn't you?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. If it feels like this entire show is going to revolve around what is being described as a Bloodline acknowledgement ceremony for Jacob and the rest of Solo's gang, basically. We know that they are going to be teaming, well, a version of the Bloodline, because there's 4 of them and 4 into 3 doesn't go, unless I suppose the Babyfaces get another member of their team, taking on Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens next Saturday at Money in the Bank.
What do you think of that? Are we going to get 3 from 4, or are the Babyfaces going to add a 4th?
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Because it feels like the Bloodline have to win.
Yeah.
Because you want to set up Solo versus Cody for SummerSlam, one would assume, if you're not doing the Randy Orton thing.
And the debut of Jacob Fatu last week was too impactful that then to have them lose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's making the starting 11.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just on a lot of football references at the moment.
It's right there.
Constantly worrying about England.
The prospect of Randy Orton potentially being the one to take the defeat.
Oh, yes.
Like, makes a bit of sense that he's just eaten a loss here last week against Carmelo Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
And we think we've seen teases of Orton and Cody down the line. So what do we always say when there's a heel turn on the horizon? The babyface is there to be beaten because they can just actually use that to feed their turn and be like, look, I'm kind of acting in service of you, Cody, and it's getting me absolutely nowhere.
With that in mind, would you run back Gunther Randy before SummerSlam? To be like, you know what? It was a mistake, but it was a great match, and he can eat the loss because he's about to turn.
It is an embarrassment of riches in this company at the moment, isn't it? Sorry, not to be confused with being embarrassed by your riches, which is the case with Man City, WWE's footballing partner. The fact that is there.
There's more charges coming to Man City after that dreadful set of T-shirts, though.
I can't wait for nothing to happen. nothing will happen. Leicester will never happen again. The next time a team outside of the teams that have already won the league, it's going to get even worse for the likes of me. And better for some. 20% of them, I hear. It's so crazy to me that Gunther Randy Orton as a rematch has more juice than it did as a King of the Ring final, and could be like a TV set up, like Gunther's last sort of thing he has to do. Not that the stakes are you win or you lose your title shot, but just Orton claiming, hold on a second, mate, you're about to win the world title, and I never got around my rematch. The fact that they could have that if they wanted.
How do you drop it in? Have Gunther in the immediate aftermath of Money in the Bank, as he alluded to this week, being like, congratulations, whoever's won, you've won the right to lose to me at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Randy was like, not so fast. Maybe you say, to add a bit of doubt in it, maybe you do the Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch thing of like, if Randy wins, it's a triple threat. He's not going to win, ladies and gentlemen, so don't worry about that.
No.
But, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we're talking about SmackDown here.
Should we
keep
it as a 4-on-4 and add a babyface to the ranks of the Supreme Good Guy? If only there was a method.
Well, where would you want this babyface to come from? Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or WWE alumni section?
Should we go to the SmackDown roster?
Okay.
Is that the bottom you wanted me to say NXT, didn't you?
I mean, I'll take anything. I love these games. I don't mind. So, who, if they are, because Cody Rhodes we're going to hear from Cody Rhodes tonight. Of course, that could be his own separate thing. Or
I got some fantasy booking for that in a second.
Crashing the acknowledgement ceremony. But if we are going to add a fourth member of the team.
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha 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 ha!
Needing bread.
Did it. Who's going to be the fourth member of the babyface team?
Stop.
Okay, you got between 1 and 12.
6.
I mean, he's a babyface to me, but I don't think Logan Paul's really
No. Twist. Stop.
Yeah, 1 to 12.
4.
Right. Well, depending on how I look at this, it's either Piper Niven or Solo Sikoa. So I think you're going to the
Last one. Twist, right? We know the rules here. We're stuck with this. So this person is going to run down and join Cody Rhodes' team.
Any baby faces that aren't really. Anyway.
Should we treat ourselves to an NXT here? Would you like?
No, go on. Let's just see what this would be.
Stop.
1 to 12.
1.
AJ Styles switching babyface again, is it?
With Cody. I own quit.
You know what? You're all right.
You're actually okay.
If there's going to be an NXT star, though, one shot on this. Go on.
One go on this one, yeah. You only get one shot, so make it count. 3.
Take it. I can't touch it.
Just because the booking is so hot. I don't want to say the wrestler's name. Wilbourn's quite canny with a voice, right? I'm trying to remember if he's got a good impression in him. Do you want to announce in the voice of this wrestler who the wrestler that we have randomly selected in this game to be the fourth on the Cody Rhodes team to face the Bloodline at Money in the Bank? People love your voices. Okay. They'll nail it. I'm sure with your impression, you'll nail it.
Come on, you got this. Yeah, I think the person would come in the babyface locker room or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you want a new member of the Nightmare family? Stacks.
It's our friend Channing Stacks Lorenzo, in case that wasn't clear by his impersonation.
Yeah,
You just can't do the voice, can you?
Everyone has one that they just
can't nail it. Stacks, brilliant.
If not that though, then Cody Rhodes he's got some good contacts in the business.
Oh, we're picking an alumni as well.
Yeah, Glacier's off to AEW.
Yeah, we've lost Glacier. Stop.
Okay. There's a real strong chance here. I say no and we just move on, but let's say 1 to 12.
2.
Oh, yeah, Tajiri.
Said with such relief. It's not somebody that's going to get us thrown off YouTube. Right, so we've got then Stacks or Tajiri tonight.
Or AJ Styles.
Or AJ Styles volunteer their services to the babyfaces and we make it 4 and 4 minutes. I'm glad we've got that cleared away. Should we talk about Cody Rhodes?
Yes, Cody Rhodes, Bloodline Acknowledgement Ceremony. Let me know your thoughts.
I think a terrible thing is going to happen to Cody Rhodes tonight, which traditionally would be a terrible thing in wrestling booking.
Just remembered this.
And I dropped this on X earlier in the week, and everybody laughed at old Hamflett. Everybody chuckled at old Fat Mike. Because I pitched what is traditionally considered a really bad bit of wrestling booking.
Yeah.
And I was trying to add context to it, but at this point, nobody wants to listen, and you're just a big, dumb idiot.
And greatness echoes greatness, as we know, and they did belt theft on NXT, but without it being bad, because Lola Vice gave the belt back. When she wakes up, tell her, here's a belt.
Belt theft. It's not for everybody. A lot of the time, it shouldn't be for anybody.
No.
Belt theft. Tonight, Cody Rhodes somehow involves himself in all of this Bloodline stuff. Kind of does a bit of a version of your favourite moment of 2024, where he's getting so sick of the pageantry of it all that he just interrupts because he's sick of this bullshit.
Oh, God.
Right? And and Cody Rhodes is here, huge pop, whatever.
Oh my God.
We watched that again the other day, didn't we? Oh, my God, the WrestleMania doc drops next week. Oh,
Can't
my God.
And the Bloodline just lay it on the line. So, Cody, we've had you in check. And Money in the Bank, it's going to be checkmate. And I'm not saying we're friends. It's a chess thing. And then, so Cody's like, yeah, whatever. And Paul Heyman, like, acting in the usual way now where he's kind of really inferior.
You're just a pawn in this game, and you can't get your mate Eric Bishop in. Sorry.
I am Richard.
Don't know what he was drinking here.
I am Richard Hillman, and you are Emily Bishop.
You thought you were king of the castle.
Yeah.
Well,
Eagles don't hunt flies, and you're nothing more than a rook.
you're no king. Queen Nia. A Queen Nia.
L.A. Knight. And it's a horse.
A man on a horse.
Yeah, and he only walks in L shapes.
Oh, yes, a knight. Yes, I say, don't know what it's
A
called.
man on a horse.
Man on a horse.
It's not even a man. Where can the jockey move on the chessboard?
I'm confusing it, of course, with Harry Potter chess. When I move not my knight, you are free to take the king, Harry. Thanks, Ron. That should have been me, by the way.
Ron Weasley.
Yeah.
They have to like completely rebrand the franchise.
It's either that or Tintin, and I can't believe I missed out on both. I'm fizzing.
It's the only reasons your parents supported you choosing that degree over law. Was like, well, look, like they're bringing back Tintin. This Harry Potter thing is going pretty well. They're probably going to make a massive cinematic franchise. He's got to get one of them.
Yeah.
And then like one of your parents like, but he's going to be a lawyer. And the others, Harry Potter.
Hey, still time for a live action Wild Thornberries.
Hey!
It's true.
Still time, baby.
Simpsons has got now else left. Like if you ever needed to be Flanders around Movember.
Sorry, I'm completely talking all over this.
What are we doing? Yeah. So anyway, Paul Heyman in his capacity as I'm really scared. Sir, I am really terrified, but I must express to you, sir, how you are in grave danger. And he explains that to Cody Rhodes and says, look, you're under threat just by being in this ring. Don't make the same mistake your father made in this building by thinking that you own that belt wholesale. That you own it
What
full.
mistake's that?
Well, you see,
My
right?
wrestling encyclopedia friend.
You see, the story's never been told before, but I'm about to finish it. Back in 1978,
You were a young boy.
I was 15, and I travelled to Madison Square Garden with my young son, and we witnessed Dusty Rhodes defeat Superstar Billy Graham for the WWF Championship. Only it was by disqualification.
Oh, the title can't change hands on disqualification.
The title cannot change hands by disqualification. Somebody should have told Dusty Rhodes to thick because he put that belt right around his waist. He paraded it around.
And Lex Luger won it by...
That was sad.
Hey,
We did it. That's the end of the tour. The end of Lex. Lex. You pushed his dead, Lex. The referee said, no, Dusty, no. I'm afraid you're not champion. And they ripped that belt away. Right? You've never heard this story before. Flash forward to 2022.
I remember it.
Cody Rhodes has a very successful career on the independent scene. Gets some stupid little startup off the ground, then it off and again. And returns to WWE and says, that story haunted me because my dad had that belt, but he wasn't able to hold the belt for any longer than a few seconds before it was ripped away. My story is to win that belt. You sitting comfortably? I'm about to tell you 2 years ago. No, I'm not ready. So he wins the belt at WrestleMania 40. Story finished. Yeah? What if the Bloodline rip it all away, just like they did to Dusty, and they don't steal the belt to hold on to it for weeks and weeks and run away with it. They just steal it in that building to give Cody traumatic flashbacks to the worst night in his family, in his Bloodline's life. Because check this, Wilbourn, right? One more twist on this. The Bloodline, anointments and the like, wrestling, if you can believe it, has more than one royal family. And you might not have noticed this, they've actually got that in Cody's entrance theme. Before the music even starts, it says that.
Wow.
I know. So, as I'm saying, not just any belt theft. And scene.
Fantastic. Like, genuinely fantastic.
Thanks very much.
My only addition would be when Jacob Fatu comes out, because he needs a theme, and Def Rebel are terrible. Splash the cash and be like, story? What's the story, Morning Glory?
Oh my God, Nicholas, I've got to show you something before we leave today.
Yeah, if you just explain what we're talking about very quickly there. You don't, without spoiling it.
There is a TikTok doing the rounds. Somebody fantasy books an Oasis return, and
It's so good, even I like it, and I think Oasis suck, so...
More on that later. Brian, put us in Oasis if you want. Wilbourn will hate it.
I'll present the rest of the podcast like this.
Liam Jagger.
That's how we do it.
That's him, isn't it? Liam Gallagher from the Rolling Stones. That's him.
Calling out around the world. What's the story, Morning Glory?
Time is here. Time is right for Wonderwall.
Everyone make a spin-off band. Everyone, sorry, around the land. I have to finish it off.
So, yeah, otherwise it'd be in your brain, yeah.
But is Roman Reigns never coming back? Do you think, by the way, quick word on this, genuinely, I do a lot of bollocks on this, genuinely, amazing from Roman Reigns. I think the day after his dad passes away, he was like out doing charity work with
Yeah,
kids,
I saw that,
which is just fantastic,
cool.
Genuinely putting smiles on faces. But is there any allusion here to... I wouldn't be so confident that Roman Reigns is never coming back.
Yeah, there were... It's a good point. They were out front with it last week, wasn't it? That's Solo's attempt to assume power absolutely now by sort of breaking Paul Heyman's heart. I don't know. When do you do it? We talked last week. I know there was people wanting Drew to stay off Raw longer. And my argument was, no, Chicago's the place to get the heat. Can you apply that here? Is the place to get the pop, Madison Square Garden. But then if you bring Roman back, I know, right?
Jesus.
But you've got Money in the Bank to contend with. You've got a SummerSlam build with Solo where it would feel weird if Roman was around.
Yeah.
And having to sort of...
The big dog in the room rather than the elephant in the room, obviously. I know. Been a while.
She must have heard that. Stax is kicking around.
Yeah.
Was it Judgment Daisy that Stax had a bit of a thing
I
with?
don't know. I never know, man.
Never know.
There she is.
There she is. She's looking at her phone.
Not surprised.
Oh, he's looking pretty resplendent.
Looking good today. Yeah, so, I mean, it's not happening now, is it? They're saving that for Survivor Series. Not the return, but the stepping back in the ring one would have. And obviously with the events of this week, it probably isn't going to happen. But, like you say, oh,
I've got a fourth man. Jimmy Uso.
Oh my God.
That's mad.
Jimmy Uso is the fourth man for the baby faces.
Because he's a good guy now. Jay ain't buying it.
Jay ain't buying it. And kind of nobody sort of goes, wait a second, Jay's going to be in Money in the Bank on the same night. And I've already kind of fantasy booked that Jimmy helps him if he needs it sort of thing. There's a bit of a, we don't have to be friends anymore, but we'll always be brothers. We're square. Sorry about everything. I'm really sorry. Right there, I screwed you the last time.
That's a terrible WrestleMania match.
Yeah, I screwed you winning the title the last time, but I can at least help you get back towards it this time around, that sort of thing. What if he's, and Cody, the ever trusting babyface, and Orton and Owens, Kevin Owens, he taking the piss, Cody, mate, him. Randy Orton, it's well, nah, I kind of get it. I'm a Viper. This is how it goes. And Cody, just like he did with Jay on Raw, asymmetry, is no, it's I'm the locker room leader and it's time to trust.
And they're out there, three of them. Oh, we're going to fight you next Saturday. We're going to kick your ass. And Solo's like, you joking? We've got Jacob Fatu and we've got the numbers advantage. Is that all you've got, Cody? And Cody says, no, comma, yeet.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
It's not Jey Uso, it's Jimmy.
It's Jimmy Uso, yeah. Jimmy, nail them.
Good.
Yep. Because in New York, there's a big river. And ain't no doubt this pay-per-view would be even better with him on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just... And he could be wearing crocodile shoes. And just in terms of the babyface, it's just great to get back with the boys again.
Never mind the island of relevancy. We run this whole world. And he says, Jimmy, eat world.
Great. I'm going back to Jimmy Nail. Because when they do Bash at Berlin and they leave, they can say, Auf Wiedersehen, pet.
Good.
Because he's talking to Pharaoh.
Good stuff.
Well, tick, motherfucking tick. We done? We good?
We do have a few other things to talk about.
Just all the matches.
Oh, yeah. And also, it's worth mentioning, this is Kayla! Last night in the company, of course.
Yeah.
Shame to be losing her, but it feels like an appropriate show to send her off on in terms of, A, it's a huge show. Obviously, she'll get a lovely send-off from, whether they do it in front of on TV or not, but a great send-off. One would hope that this company isn't as evil as it used to be. And also, imagine Paul Heyman, he hugged CM Punk and he's like, I needed that. Imagine if he does that nice moment with Kayla.
One last jump scare.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh, when are you going?
Yeah, you again. That'd be really nice. It's been nicely set up this because she's working on a verbal agreement.
Yeah.
She's been seeing through her dates to end herself, understanding that I guess this will be a really big night at Madison Square Garden. It's just, you're
Could
right.
appear on Forbidden Door at the weekend.
She could by the letter of the law. I don't think she will by the letter of her own tweets.
No.
But I've really enjoyed Kayla Braxton in this role, and we've said it before. It's never been as hard, maybe less so since Triple H took over, but I would say in the 2010s it was never harder for a backstage interviewer or an announcer or anybody in that position to actually stand out and be allowed to be their best selves in that role. Like Renee Paquette gets all the flowers as she should, like a perfect wrestling personality in that spot. A natural, people always use Mean Gene, I think that's fair. A natural success to Mean Gene as somebody who's industry defining. Kayla Braxton eventually sort of dug her way out of the trenches in the exact same way. And I do genuinely feel like she will be missed. It's, there's a lot of, Samantha Irvin is isolated for praise, and rightfully so now, as a ring announcer that gets to actually sort of perform with flair and use her immense skills, rather than when you read about announcers being bollocked for saying drive safely or whatever, because not all fans have cars, and just weird Vince McMahon quirks about what you can do to get
Nightmares.
wrong.
I guess this time.
Yeah, and how
this time.
you must be so in your own head about saying the wrong word that you can't do anything but be the robot.
Don't say wrestler, don't say belt.
Yeah, you just got to be the robot, and she came through in that system where it was be the robot, and has made herself known and popular and beloved enough that she will be really missed. I will miss the presence of Kayla Braxton as that kind of familiar, assured person. I've seen, you like your football talk?
Go on.
Seen lots of clips this week of people noticing that Gary Lineker is older now than Des Lynam was when he retired.
Really?
That's incredible. Yeah. But Des Lynam was that safe pair of hands when the football was on. So he moved to ITV. I'm going to get a good vibe out of that. Des Lynam working for ITV was kind of I don't know, if The Undertaker had moved to Nitro in the 90s. It just doesn't quite fit. Nor did
On the Premiership,
the
wasn't it?
Premiership at 7 o'clock at night, did it?
Beautiful Day by U2 was an absolutely great choice, though.
I suppose you are a bit younger, so it sort of fits your nostalgia a bit more than mine. I was pretty disgusted by it.
I'm disgusted by. I'm not sure if I've mentioned
Andy
this.
Townsend's tactics truck.
No, that was goated. I'm disgusted by Sam Matterface and Lee Dixon doing commentary on ITV still. What's it going to take for us to get? I mean, I don't even care if England are in the final or not. What's it going to take to get Ali McCoist and Clive Tilsley doing the commentary for the final? I might actually watch it rather than BBC if it's them. Yeah.
Who's that awful one that just tries to make everything? He's kind of like the
Jonathan
Paul
Pearce.
Heyman of football commentary.
Jonathan Pearce.
Peter Drury, maybe.
The one who's taken over on Sky.
It's maybe, I don't know. It's a Mauro Ronaldo sort of pre-prepared.
That's Peter Drury, yeah.
Everything's classical music and cinema and all. I mean, he would say
Yeah.
who would say like a dumb, daft sports hobby thing is cinema? Like, classless. But like, yeah, the
Manolas, a Greek god in Rome. Yeah. Rome erased from their ruins.
Shut the up.
All right, mate, I'm just repeating what you said. What are we talking about? Oh, Kayla Braxton. Yeah.
She will be missed.
Yeah. He jump scare, and he goes, oh, unbreak my heart. That was your sister, wasn't it?
That's what you've got. Thanks, Kayla.
See you later.
Thanks 7 or 8 years.
Future endeavours.
Thanks 7 or 8 years.
Please don't appear on some weird right-wing news outlet next.
Same surname as another singer. So, yeah, that's what you're getting. See you later. Thanks.
Years of service. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Laughs when the iconic screamed your name. Goodbye.
Come on.
I am telling you there's a chance.
Don't say it.
I am telling you there's a chance.
Me doing the, what's it called? Surrender Cobra.
Yeah.
If they don't show up.
Sean Spears.
I'm watching this quicker than I watched last week's SmackDown now.
Sean Spears, back in the company, just celebrating the birth of their second child with Peyton Royce. Wants to bring the family to Madison Square Garden.
Women's tag division all over the place.
I'm not saying they're going to work. She's just had a baby. But like, Billy Kay and Peyton Royce.
Everyone told me Becky Lynch had a baby in January and she'd probably work in the Rumble.
They made it perfectly clear. Aye. Get the Iconics back from them.
Oh, come on. Please, Papa.
Ugh. That's the worst moment of my life. That is as bad. I think I'm done.
What did fans say when they wanted to see more of Wade Barrett's spin-off faction?
Can I have a guess?
Yeah.
Can Paul Heyman be the one requesting it?
Yeah, it works. Paul Heyman has Oliver. Yes.
Yeah. Please, sir, can I have some core?
Oh, there's a button for this.
Bingo!
Oh!
We got him good on the news, by the way. Watch the morning news this morning.
Oh, we got him good.
Synergy out the ass, burying the billionaires.
LA Knight.
Yeah.
We're talking about the 3 Money in the Bank qualifiers now. It finally gets his hands on Logan Paul tonight. Obviously got KO'd by him last week. And let's not forget about Santos Escobar. It's tough, genuinely tough to call this because you could arguably see all three men, i.e. Logan Paul could be, the threat of him being, oh God, he's Mr. Money in the Bank's one thing. LA Knight arguably should have been Mr. Money in the Bank last year. But then again, they could take each other out to set up their presumed US title match for SummerSlam. And Santos could sneak in.
That was the theme of last week's qualifiers, wasn't it?
Yes.
Chelsea Green got the nod, Andrade and Mello.
Currently the men's Money in the Bank ladder match has Jey Uso, Mello, Andrade, and Chad Gable, of course. We'll talk about the women's in a second.
I would love nothing more than a field of Money in the Bank competitors who've never won the title. It's that really exciting feeling of, not that obviously it guarantees it anymore, but this idea that everybody here could have this career-defining moment if they grab that briefcase. And I know LA Knight and Logan Paul haven't had it, but LA Knight's had a shot. Logan Paul winning it one day sort of feels inevitable in this modern WWE. So last week's booking made me think, no, they are trying to protect everything here. They gave Santos Escobar a bit of a kicking, truthfully. Like, he just took that BFT off LA Knight like he was nothing, seemingly with a view that he was going to win here because, as you say, Logan Paul and LA Knight take each other out.
And Andrade's in the match, and they feel like they're going back to something with them too.
I think, not that they're all underdogs, and like Jey Uso slapped all over the poster, I think he's going to win. I think he should win.
Great poster.
Yeah, but I think this one feels, I think you're right. I think they've made a good argument, a strong argument for all of them winning. But I think ultimately, LA Knight and Logan Paul, what you could do as well here, quite effectively, I think, is if Santos Escobar was to win, and then it's all because they just, LA Knight and Logan Paul just determined to ruin each other's lives. You get the brawl off into the crowd and you use Madison Square Garden, as it has been done before, for like one of those iconic WWE visual moments. Like, I'm thinking Kofi Kingston jumping off the barricade onto Randy Orton or something. Just give Logan Paul and LA Knight something that's like a huge takeaway from this night while Santos Escobar gets the win and gets into the match.
To keep it interesting, I'll pick someone else. I think I want Logan Paul in there.
I could see it.
Because
worked it last year,
you can't have LA Knight in it again and getting screwed out of it or coming really close, because the danger then is people will want LA Knight to win and not Jey Uso is very different, but not be as excited if, say, a Chad Gable wins it. But have Logan Paul win here. LA Knight costs Logan Paul Money in the Bank, and Logan Paul's like, that's it. You got your match. You've been so, I've been annoying to you. You've been annoying to me. Now I actually want to fight you. Let's have a proper fight at SummerSlam for this belt right here that he suddenly now wants to defend because he's scared of defending against Cody.
Counter offer quickly. LA Knight wins this match tonight and wins Money in the Bank, and he's getting ready to cash in. Like 6 months pass, and you think his feud with Logan Paul has ended, but he goes to open the briefcase because that's what we have to do now. And
as always, yeah.
Yeah. That picture of that video of Katy Perry at the Kids' Choice Awards when she gets like smashed really aggressively with gunge.
I've done my research, yeah.
What does he mean by that, Raffone? No, you're not as good as Sidgwick at this.
Shaking his head.
I'm glad he's shaking his head. That was something else. He opens the briefcase to cash in because that's what every wrestler's ever done.
You have to open it, obviously.
Blasted in the face with Prime.
A la Seth Rollins, of course, and Wacky Dean.
God, he rigged a briefcase with guns today.
I'm going to open the briefcase, as we always do. Just on
That's it, yeah. Just
what's going on here?
Where am I keep my things? Yeah, I've rigged.
It's full of Prime. That's better than a title shot. Has to be something worse, mate.
Mate.
There's two mates.
What would you do with the briefcase full of Prime?
Retire. Completed life.
I'm very hydrated.
Who was it who did the red, white, and blue, by the way? Was that Panda Blair?
Yes. Thank you, Panda Blair, sending me red, white, and blue.
That's it, sorry.
3 bottles of Mountain Dew's American range. I believe they're coming in the post from wherever the hell Panda Blair is in the world, living his most fantastic of lives. I think he might be at the Garden tonight. He's in New York,
Might
isn't
be,
he?
yes.
Send us your pictures and all that good stuff. We love seeing it.
Let's move over to the women's qualifiers. So currently qualified is Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, and Chelsea Green. 2 qualifiers tonight.
Second qualifier.
You've got Naomi versus Blair Davenport versus Indy Hartwell.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got Candice LeRae, Jade Cargill, after Bianca, of course, missed out last week. And my pick for the whole thing, Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, these feel open and shut for Tiffany Stratton and Blair Davenport.
Yes.
And a lot of the 3-way booking has been done because it's kind of instructing you to look at who's already in existing feuds, who can take pins. They've cheated and they haven't, because I think in some cases there's been a couple of surprise results, but it has existed to protect certain people, hasn't it? And we'll do the first one first. Blair Davenport has been bothering Bailey in a very
calling her shot.
Yeah, direct fashion. I'm going to win the Money in the Bank. I'm going to get the. So to have her lose at this point would be a bit counterproductive when it's kind of all she's done is bother her. It's not.
No offense to her, but Indy Hartwell's right there to take the pin.
Exactly right. And
Naomi's fine. She'll be protected in all this.
it's not been physical with Blair Davenport. It's just been like she's been like bothering in the corridor, saying, "My time's coming," and I'm telling you now.
Steal after a rear view, can't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Naomi not winning. I'm with you. She shouldn't lose, but Naomi not winning continues what I think. We've said this for a while now. Is a background heel turn being set up.
Yeah.
I could just be reading too much into this, but it does feel like Naomi's loyalty to Bailey, which is nice. She will believe eventually that that's what's costing her ability to move up the ladder on.
Almost like a female version of the Randy Orton story. Like, what am I doing this for exactly?
So
You're the
her-
only one who seems to be benefiting from all this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So her losing without having to lose again because Indy Hartwell's there. And I guess if...
Feels like Indy and Candice, the poor bastards, are in both matches.
I know.
Yeah.
But they are a loser tag team, so I guess technically it can be a loser singles for now. Maybe you try and tell a story with it. Like, oh, God, we're terrible. Maybe that's the story for a bit, and they have to not be terrible. Like,
How do you protect... I mean, Jade obviously not getting pinned is slightly protecting her, but how do you get around...
Well, this is the problem with the cheat code, is that you can only use it so many times before it becomes apparent that you're cheating. If they do the exact same thing as last week, where Jade does the damage but then is thrown out the way, like, it's exactly what happened to Bianca. Are they not then both a bit stupid for not scouting that this sort of thing could happen? Like, I guess Jade could win, and then they could, for the first time, have Jade sort of appear to surpass Bianca.
Yeah.
When so far it's been almost
then
like...
Tiff's not in the match. Makes me sad.
Yeah, no, like, I'm with you. I think Tiffany Stratton gets in.
I've got the idea. I've got the answer, by the way.
Figure it out.
Because I like it. You're right that you shouldn't just be like, bloody hell, why don't we see this coming? That's happening in loads of the Money in the Bank qualifiers. So Bianca's like, sort of a bit patronising as well, but like well-meaning. So because I would assume Jade turns on Bianca because Bianca's sort of like an ever baby. But it'd be interesting to see what she'd be like as a heel. But you know what I mean? Like, for that match, I just think it works better with Jade as a heel.
Yeah.
Eventually, whenever they do that, whether it be WrestleMania next year, I don't know. But what if Bianca, like, take this the right way, you're kind of new here, and saw what happened to me. I'm going to be out there to just keep things on the straight and narrow, right? And it looks like Tiffany's going to steal she hits Jaded on Candice, for example. Tiff comes in, throws her out the way. And I don't know how you really do it as a babyface thing without putting someone's foot on the ropes or whatever. But she's out there and she stops that from happening. And Tiff gets into it with Bianca. What the hell are you doing here? Because Tiffany versus Bianca.
Oh my God.
Down the road again. There's so many dream matches right now for me. And Candice is KO'd. Tiff out there with Bianca. And Jade's, I don't know, maybe waiting to hit it. The ref's like, what the bloody hell are you two doing out there? Not that it matters because you can't have DQs, but you know what I mean? Let's try and protect it somewhat. Jade's just waiting to hit another Jaded when who should come in but Queen Nia, who doesn't want Jade Cargill anywhere near the briefcase for when she becomes champion because she knew she couldn't beat her, hence why the DQ happened many, many moons ago.
Look at you. You're not just fantasy booking dangerously impossible spots at this point. It's just overlapping stories, isn't it? This is what good Fed does to people. More people should have it as part of their regular diet.
Yeah.
That's why I got my PhD in it.
Ask your doctor whether Fed's for you.
And then we have all those things at the end, like one of those American headache tablets adverts.
Yes.
Like the Smackdown might not be suitable if you somehow still enjoy Collision. Like I love all of that. Like, so much spins off of Nia Jax winning Queen of the Ring, doesn't it? And taking in...
and then down the road, you could have a team of Miss Money in the Bank, Tiffany Stratton, world champion Nia Jax, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill in a tag, like just as a tag. Don't even have the tag titles near it, mate. It's just cinema.
Well, look at cool wrestlers, don't you?
Yeah, it's just great matches out the years. But for now, this has been our SmackDown preview. Let us know your thoughts ahead of tonight's show in the comment section or an X at WhatCulture WWE. Well, actually, you can follow both of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
Follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow our brilliant and long-suffering producer at It's Adam Nicholas. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE, as I said. Make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Not just Wrestle Culture with the Door or No Door full game later today, but also a Forbidden Door preview from me and Michael Sidgwick coming your way. But this has been the SmackDown preview, where, of course, we talked about the Bloodline Acknowledgement ceremony, WWE returning to Madison Square Garden, LA Knight finally get his hands on Logan Paul, more Money in the Bank qualifiers, and Kayla Braxton's last night in WWE.
The SmackDown preview. It's got all this and so much more.
We'll see you Monday to review it. Bye.